Okay, good morning, students. So today we can start with that is an enterprise Java beans in persistency model. We can call it as a Java persistency model. So there is a step-by-step process when we have to create the persistency model of EJB. So in the brief about how the persistency model will be developed. So in the later EJB, the version 3.0, so we have to using an entity bin is used in EJB 2.0. Means we have to replace the version 3 to 2.0 because it is replaced by persistency mechanism, because some of the properties functions are available in EJB 2.0 version. So we have to replace by the EJB 3.0 to 2.0 to work with our persistency model mechanism. So in that case, the EJB 2.0, we have to using a very simple plain old Java object. So we have to using EJB 2.0 version. So when using an entity bin, it is very simple POJO and having a mapping between the database table. So when you work with the database table, so we have to give the sum of the a key factor to be known when the persistency model can be work done. So there is a 4 important points to be remember when the key factor in persistency API. The first one is an entity. The second one is an entity manager. And the third one is persistency unit. We can also call that the persistency.xml. And the fourth one is a data source. So data source is nothing but an XML we had to write. So we can using the star data source, that is a ds.xml. So these are the 4 key factor we have to use to write the persistency of API. Then what is entity and what is entity manager and what is the use of using persistency unit and what is the use of the data source.xml. So entity means it is an object, that is a persistency object, and it representing the data stored in the database in a record, and it is good to be serializable. Means the entity means it is an object that can represent to store the data of the information in the database in the serializable manner. So that is the entity. And the second one is an entity manager. So what is the role of entity manager? So manager means you can give the sum of the operation to be done. It may be adding, or it may be delete, or it may be update, or it may be find or search. So this responsibility will work within the entity manager. So we can go by the entity manager. It is a persistency object, is interface to do the data operations. So we have to do some of the data to be task or the data operation, or it may be a addition, deletion, or etc. So on that particular data of the persistency object. So persistency object is nothing but an entity. And it is also the responsibility to helps to execute a query using the query interface. So this is the role key factor of entity manager. Entity is an object we can store in the database in the serialized manner. And the second one is an entity manager. The roles should be act like the interface between the particular object, can be add, delete, update, etc. And it helps to execute the query using some of the queries languages. So these are the 2 key factors by using the persistency API. And the third one is a persistency unit. So we can return in the XML tag. So we can call it as a persistency.xml. So this persistency XML or the persistency unit, it describes the properties of persistency mechanism. So what is the role of persistency unit? It is a mechanism to describe the properties of persistency unit. So this is, we can call it as a persistency unit. And the next we can go for the data source. So data source is nothing but we can also call it as a data source.xml. So what is the use of data source? So this data source describe the data stored in the database, and it is related to some of the properties like the connection URL or username, password, etc. So these are can be described in the data source.xml. So these are the 4 important key factor of using Java persistency model. So when you go for the data source.xml, so we have to demonstrate the persistency mechanism. So some of the following tasks to be created, and I will also give the example of the step 1 to 6. So first we have to create a table in database. Second, we have to create the entity class with the corresponding to the database table. And the third one is create a data source. So that is XML, and you can using the persistency unit. And we can create the stateless EJB and having the entity manager instance. And the fifth one is, the fifth step is update the stateless EJB and add method to add the records and get the record from the database via the entity manager. And finally, we have to use to console the base application client will access the stateless EJB to persistency data in database. So these are a step belongs to demonstrate the EJB persistency mechanism. So you can go by step one by one. The first one, the step 1, we have to create the table. So how we can create the table? So create table, and the table name is the book, and it containing some of the parameters. That is an ID is an integer. I have to declare as a primary key, and the name is where character 50. So in that case, I have to create the table. So this is the first step. So we have to create the table in the database. That is create a table, and the book name is the name of the table is the book in the default database of the Postgres. The second one, so we have to create the entity class, which is corresponding to the table. So I can create the entity class. So first I have to take market entity using entity annotation. So annotation is nothing but then we have to using the symbol as at. So entity at entity, that is an annotation entity, and this entity annotation will map the table name using a table annotations. So just you can return as at table. So it means that we have to map the table annotations. 1 minute. Sorry. Okay, first we have to create a table. Name is the book, and I can using some of the parameter, that is an ID integer is primary key, and name is var character. Then we have to create the second step. We can call it as a create the class. So create the class corresponding to the table. I have to take the annotations with an entity annotation with mapping with the annotation table. So I can using at entity at a table of name is equal to books, and I can using to serializable one by one by implementing in our database by using public class. So book can be implementing in the serializable. So I can using the private integer ID and the private string name and public book. I can using the constructor here. Then I can using, and once again I have to mark with our primary key, that is an ID. So mark ID as a primary key with the auto generated value, because when you assigning the primary key of ID, in the database, the ID will be auto generated one by one. So there is no duplicated value. And this ID will mapping the database column of ID with the ID field. So how will be analyzing this annotation ID in our database? You can just using at ID. It is nothing but an annotation, and the generated value of the annotation I can using strategy is equal to generation type dot identity. Then at column name is equal to ID and public int get ID and return ID. So if this is, we have to auto generated the value of the ID of the primary key with the help of annotations. So this is the second step. So we have to create the entity class corresponding to the table. Then we have to create the data source at persistency unit. So we can create the data source and persistency unit. So that is data source is nothing but an XML. So you should write in the XML format, that is an extended markup language. So I can using the name of the XML is jboss_ds. So this is the name of the XML file of the data source. So starting with the XML, always starting with the question mark with XML version is 1.0 and encoding in the unit UTF-8. So this is a standard syntax we are using in the XML. So in that case, I have to start with the data source within the Angular bracket. That is a data source, and the local tags I can using the local TX, that is data source. This is the head, and then it is the name of the JNDI, and because so this is XML is nothing but an user interface. So user can write any script name. So I can using JNDI name of Postgres data source, and using the connections and the driver class name, password, size, minimum size and the maximum size, and I can using the timeout as 5 seconds and close it the data source. So this is our own data source with the help of the persistency unit in the XML. So you should know that when you write the XML tag, so all the tag must be our own declaration. So this is the help of using XML. So this is the third step. So we have to create the data source and the persistency unit. And the step 4, we have to create the stateless EJB having the entity manager. What is the role of entity manager? We can add, delete, update. Whatever the task will be assigned to that entity persistency, and it helps to execute the query. So that is the fourth, having EJB, he stays stateless EJB having entity manager. So that is the fourth point. So you can just see that this is an example how to create the persistency unit, the starting with the persistency tag and ending with the persistency tag. In that case, I have to using some of the a standard XML syntax you should write, and the name with the corresponding and transaction data source, and this is the data persistency unit, and this is the properties. So here we can using the persistency as a tag and ending with the tag, and also we can using the persistency unit and properties. So this is the example of how to create the stateless EJB having the entity manager in the persistency unit. So this is the fourth step. We have to create a stateless EJB having entity manager. And finally, we can update the status, adding the methods to the add record and get record from the database via the entity. So how will be created? So this is having the entity with the adding the data book via the persistency. So create the stateless EJB having entity manager instance. At the stateless, you should write the at stateless. So public class library persistency bean. So this is the name of the class will be implemented by using a library persistency bean remote. So in that case, we have to pass persistency unit to entity manager. So this is the having persistency with the entity manager. So by using at the persistency contest and the name, you can declare the private manager, that is an entity manager, and using the public void add book of book name and entity manager. So this is an example. We have to create the stateless EJB having entity manager instance. So after build the EJB model, so we need to client to access the stateless bean. So which will be going to creation for the next session. So this is the use of the EJB, the Java persistency model. So in the examination may be asked, what is EJB? Explain the Java persistency model. So you should write down the following key factor first. That is the entity manager, persistency unit, data source. So when you create the data source, you can demonstrate the EJB persistency mechanism. So we are going to do this some following task. First, create the table, create the entity class corresponding to the table, then create the data source and persistency unit, and create the status EJB having the entity manager, and we can adding some of the stateless EJB to method and consoling the basic application client will access the stateless EJB to the persistently data in database. So this is the persistency model. And next we can move to that is a container server. Container server is nothing but an EJB container. Means we can store the data in the database. So we can call it as an EJB container. So what is container server means? While the server side component types, we can handle some of the business logic units and we can entities the address state. So the EJB container can contain to make our jobs very easy by providing a very wide range of generic and also configurable service. Generic is nothing but a basic data types, generic data types, and also we can using some of the configurable service also. So this is the help of using container server. So when you're using the enterprise application, so generally we are using some of the application server and we can handle a very large number of or very large amount of data will be stored in the database so that the user can use the concurrent data, and when sending the request, each line it might to be handled carefully so that there is no violate for the security purpose or any of the integration of any other applications. So this is the help of using the enterprise application in the container server. And additionally, we should not waste our time for writing some of the module together, nothing but in parallelly, so that container can do this. So this is the help of using container server. And when using the EJB container, it develops the EJB automatically when the web server is started. When the web server is started, all the entities of object live in that particular container during its creation to removal. Up to the removal, so all the entity object will storing in the EJB container. So once we can deploy more than one entity beans in that particular container, the entity bin is deployed in the container and work with the container is provided with the interface from the home to the entity bin. Once the home is interface allows the client for removing or adding or creating an entity object, it helps to execute the home interface business method so that we do not specific to particular entity bin of the object. So we can using that is a JNDI is nothing but an interface, that is a Java naming and directory interface, is a standard interface which will use for the client can hook up with the entity bins in home interface. So this is the rules when we are using the EJB container in the Java naming and directory interface. And some of the table we have to illustrate with the EJB container service. That is the service and this is the description. So there is the three types of service available in the EJB container. One is the life cycle management. Second one is then security. And the third one is then transaction. So life cycle management means we have to run the Java application and it work with build with the deploying the server side Java application. So the role of JRUN in the container service is automatically increase and reduce the number of available beans instance so that there is not much load on the current server. When you go for the security is one of the most important feature of EJB. Since EJB supports authentication and the role-driven access control. Authentication means I have to give the password and the username. Without username and password authentication, so we cannot enter the database and role-driven access to the control. And when go for the transaction, so transaction is nothing but a process. When the transaction means it is a unit of work must be executed in a one piece. That is, we can call it as a transaction. So this is a beautiful definition of transaction. So transaction means it is a one set of unit, work it, and must be executed in one piece. So when you're using the transaction, the container managed transaction is there. So this container managed transaction in which the container begins and commits the transaction on behalf of the bean. So this is the very responsible role of transaction. So transaction means it is a one piece, it should be executed. When it is executed, which the database container will begins and commits the transaction on behalf of the entity bean. And the second one is the bean, it is managed the transaction. First one is the container managed the transaction. The second one is bean managed the transaction. So in this type of transaction, that is a bean managed transaction, will have the role which that give the task complete control over transaction. Once the control can be achieved either from the client side or from the bean itself. So this is the role of using bean managed transaction. So these are the two types of transaction. One is the container managed transaction and bean managed transaction is a second transaction. So these are the two types of transaction in the EJB container service. So there is a three types of service: life cycle management, security, and transaction. And the last slide, that is a dependency injection. What is dependency injection? So we can go for the version EJB 3.0. In that, the specification provides some of the annotations which can be applied on particular field or setter the method to inject dependency. So what is the role of injection dependency? Means we have to providing some of the annotations which can apply for the field. So when you go for the EJB container, so user the global JNDI, that is a Java name and directory interface, is a registry to locate the dependency. So it should be dependency of dependency injection. So following annotations are used in EJB 3.0 for dependency injection. That is at EJB used to inject the other EJB interface. And the second one is at resource. So there is a two injection dependency. First one is an at EJB and second one is an at resource. So what is the role of at EJB means? It inject the other EJB reference. Means it gives the reference to the one EJB to the another EJB by using the at EJB. Then what is use of using at resource? Is used to inject the data source or a single tone service like session contest, timer, service, etc. So this is by using the at resource. In the next slide, we can see that what is the session contest, what is timer, what is a timer service, etc. So we can go by one in the next class. So we can see that what is timer contest. So I can stop here today. So next Monday, we can start with the concurrency. That is an instance pooling and catching, transaction, security, timers, and naming and object stores, and interoperability, and the life cycle callback and introspectors. And finally, there is a platform integration. So this is the maybe next Monday, Tuesday will be finished the half of the fifth model. Okay. So I can go for the ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ.
ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ಸೊ ಈಗ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ 5th ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀವಿ? ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ತನಕ ಇದೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಮಂಡೇ ಅಂಡ್ ಟ್ಯೂಸ್ಡೇ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಕವರ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು ದಿ platform integration. I think these are the only 1 or 2 slides is there. That is a definition. What is transaction? What is security? What is timer? Name and end object, so and so. So next to Thursday na second test ಇರೋದು. ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾರು ಒಬ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ಅನಪ್ಪು, ಮಧುಮಿತಾ, ಪೂರ್ತಿ, ನಾನ್ ಮಾತಾಡೋದ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ಯಾ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದೆ.
ಈಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಥರ್ಸ್ಡೇ ಇಂದ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ 3 ಅಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ 4 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎರಡು ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್. ಆಯ್ತಾ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
5th ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ನೀವು ಮತ್ತೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಆಮೇಲೆ.
ಹಾ ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆನಾ? ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ.
ಹಾ ಸರ್ ಇದೀನಿ.
ಈಗ ಡೆವಲಪಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ EJB ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆ.
ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನೀವೇ. ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ, ಮಧುಮಿತಾ, ದೀಪ್ತಿ. ದೀಪ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ದೀಪ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಗಾಯತ್ರಿ ಓಡೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರಲ್ಲ. ಗಾಯತ್ರಿ ಓಕೆ. ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಧುಮಿತಾ.
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ನೀವಿಬ್ರು ಡೆವಲಪಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ EJB ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಅದೆರಡು ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್
ಮಾಡಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಆದಷ್ಟು ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬರೀ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋದು. ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಲೆಸ್, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಫುಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ ನಾನು, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಇರತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಡೆವಲಪಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ EJB ಅಂದ್ರೆ EJB ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅದು ಆಯ್ತಾ?
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.